So first things first today, we are going to start off with a blank face. I just prepped mine this morning with some moisturizer that I use every single morning. And so now just to get started, we're going to put our hair up, get it out of our face, and ready for makeup. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom you guys in a little bit and show you guys my face a little bit closer. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to start off with this Makeup Forever Step 1 primer. It is just the pore minimizing one. I'm going to mainly focus that in my T-zone, any place that I really have big pores. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that on my fingers. This is just one of the sample sizes that I got from Sephora. I wanted to test it out to see if it worked before I bought the big one because those primers are ridiculously expensive. So, but right now I've been liking it. So who knows if I'll purchase another one. I talked in my favorites video about how I like one from the drugstore a little bit better. So we'll see. I might get both. One when I'm feeling a little bit more high-end and one when I'm feeling a little bit more drugstore, if that makes sense. So next I'm going to use another primer, and that is the Nivea Aftershave Balm. I talked a lot about this and how I love it. Keeps your makeup on all day, and especially for Valentine's Day when you're going on a date and you really want to make sure your makeup lasts all night long. This is going to be great for you. It does smell like man, but in the best kind of way possible. So I'm just using a little bit of that. It's really milky, and you want to make sure that you are wiping that on your skin. Not wiping. You're pressing that on your skin. I'm just kind of stroking it through, rubbing it all around, and it'll be a little bit wet at first, but as you continue to rub that throughout your face, it starts to get a little bit more tacky. And the reason why this is so great is because it has glycerin in it, so all of your makeup is really just going to stick to your face and not going to slip or slide anywhere. I really enjoy it. I have probably normal to dry skin, and it works wonders for me because I really have an issue of it breaking up in this area, and especially around my nose and T-zone where I'm maybe like slightly more oily, and this just does the job so well. So now that that is all in and it is all soaked up, now we're done with primer. Okay, so next we're going to move on to foundation, and today I'm actually going to be using the Stick Makeup Forever foundation. I am in the color R230. I guess it's a 115. So I'm going to be using this, and I'm also going to be cream contouring today. Now, you'll see kind of how I apply it. I'll just put some strokes on my face with this, and then I'll also put streaks wherever I want my cream contour to lay, and then I'll blend everything together with a beauty blender. This really works really well, getting all blended out with a beauty blender. I think foundations in general are great. This can be a little bit full coverage, so that'll take away a little bit of the coverage that it gives, and it'll really just blend out your cream contour to make everything nice and natural, which you want for a date. Anything kind of Valentine's-y. Guys like the more natural look, and as natural as a contour can be, this is how we're gonna do that. Okay, I zoomed you out a little bit more so that you really can see my full face. So starting off, I'm just gonna put the stick all over the face in the places that I really want to have coverage. So making sure you're going down instead of up. Going up is going to catch onto any of those little baby hairs that you have. So as much as possible, go in downward strokes. So I just start on my cheeks, just give 2 big lines. I probably do way too much foundation for the average person. Make sure you're getting under your eyes. But I personally like this, especially when I'm doing creams and cream contour. It's just gonna get everything away. Okay, now that it's all over my face, before I blend it out, I'm gonna be using the Anastasia Cream Contour Kit, and I'm gonna be using this middle shade right here. In between these, it's probably the most gray undertones, and it's just what I wanted to use today. I feel like grays look a little bit more natural. So using this brush, it is the Sigma Accentuate Highlighter F56. I talked about this in my brush review video. I'll have a link down below if you want to see that video. But I talked about how I wanted to use this with cream contours, and now I have the opportunity to. So I'm using this. I'm just going to pick a little bit of color up and then place that exactly where I want it to be, not blending it in or anything like that. I really like to load up the brush, find the hollows of your cheeks. You can do that by sucking in like that. So I really want it to be a little bit here and slightly higher because I really want those cheekbones to go upwards instead of being drooped down. So find that line. Easy enough. So now we have 2 of our lines, and now I'm also going to place it around my hairline, a little bit on my nose and jawline, also a little bit under my under lip to really contour my entire face. So go around my hairline, down, kind of meet that where that contour ended, keeping really close to that hairline. A little bit down my nose. This could look a little muddy right now, but once you blend everything together, it really starts to look more natural. Because I look like I'm just putting brown streaks on my face. Which I sort of am. And when I'm putting it under my jawline, I'm not going too low, but I'm also going just right at the point where my jaw dips under into my under jawline area, if that makes sense. So I'm right here, finding that hollow and putting the color right there. So once you are happy with everything and where all the color is placed, you are just going to blend it out with a damp beauty blender. Mine's super dirty right now because I used this method yesterday, so please ignore how disgusting and brown this is. But you're just going to buff everything out until it looks nice and natural. I'll do half my face so that you get to see that, and then the other half I'll do after, just so you can get a comparison. Okay, so now that half of my face is blended out, as you can tell, it's just a nice soft contour. Things are nice and chiseled exactly where you wanted them to be. Obviously, this is the other side. It looks like a train wreck, but I really love this foundation specifically because I love the coverage that it gives and the natural luminosity glow that it also gives. So I absolutely love this. It looks great, and now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna finish the other side of my face. Okay, and now that is all finished. So now everything is nice and blended. So now we can move on to concealer. Now I know in my last video I talked about how I absolutely love the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, and I still really do love that. I still think it's awesome and great, and it really doesn't crease that much, if at all. I absolutely love that. But I also found another one that I like just as much. I've used this a couple times and it's sort of a new product to me, but I'm sure you've heard a lot of people talking about this. It is the Makeup Forever HD Concealer. I am obsessed with this concealer. It's great, it's awesome. I just have it in my exact color, so it won't do a ton of brightening or anything like that, but I think this is great. It's full coverage, it's nice and hydrating, it's wonderful. Oh, so we're obviously on a Makeup Forever kick today. I'm going to be using this under my under eye and any blemishes I may have throughout my face, as well as putting it on my eyelids and using it as a primer today. Also, one of the things that I really love about this is the applicator. So it just is kind of circular, and it has a little hole there, and I will literally just draw on my concealer wherever I want it to go. Okay, and once it's applied, we're just going to use our beauty blender again and buff that all out. Okay, and now our concealer is finished. I really don't want to brighten up the under eye. I was very fine with just having a concealer today that was just sort of my skin tone. So if you wanted to do that step and you wanted to use a lighter concealer to really brighten, you can do that as well. I really did not care today. I just wanted to keep everything nice and natural and fresh. So that's all I'm going to do today. But now I'm going to be setting my under eye concealer. I'm going to be using the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I like to go in with this lightest peachy color right here because I do have undertones that are more reddish and pink and not so much yellow, which this is going to be great for you if you have yellow undertones. This is just more of my undertones, so I like to go in with that. And I'm just taking a Sigma tapered highlighter F35 brush, Gonna load all of that on there, tap it off, and set my under eye. I also like to take this color and place it anywhere that I really put concealer, and I'm really especially going to focus that on my lids, almost as a base for shadow today. Okay, so now that our concealer is set, now I'm going to set the rest of my face, and I'm going to be using my MAC Mineralized Skin Finished in the color medium. So I just really like this. It gives a nice healthy glow without being too drying on the skin. It actually is very hydrating, which I love about that. So I'm just going to use this on the rest of my face just to get that all set. And I'm going to be using the Morphe Go. It is the biggest powder brush I have ever seen in my life, but I'm absolutely in love with this, and it's awesome and it's great. So okay, and I'm also going to run this a little bit down my neck to give my neck a little bit of color. Okay, and so now once you're finished setting your entire face, I'm actually going to go in and do a little bit more bronzing and contouring. So we have that nice natural contour. I'm going to deepen that up just slightly with, again, the Kat Von D Shade Light palette. And I'm going to be using this inner color that's right here. Again, more gray undertones. Really just go over top of the cream contour that we put on earlier, just to liven that back up slightly and be a little bit more prominent. And I'm going to be using my favorite contour brush, which is the Sigma Small Contour F05. Okay, so now that we're done with that, I'm going to use a little bit more of that peachy powder in the Kat Von D palette, and I'm just going to be using this large tapered face brush, the F25 by Sigma. I'm just going to put that places the dark shade was not. So I'm going to start off loading my brush underneath just to sharpen it up without really baking. Put that below my chin a little bit, upper lip, down the bridge of my nose, and on the center of my forehead. Okay, so now we are going to move on to eyes. I just did the rest of my face, and we're going to wait to do some blush and highlight till we are done with our eyes. So I'm going to zoom you guys in. I'm going to do my brows off camera really quickly, and then I'm going to zoom you guys in, and I'm going to show you the eye look today. Okay, so now that my eyebrows are done, they're a little intense today, but we're rocking it. We're going for it. I'm about it. I actually used the Anastasia Dip Brow, and then I just set it with the Anastasia Brow Gel, cleaned it up a little with some concealer. Now my brows are looking nice and sharp and fresh. I really like how this looks. Like I told you before, I like it when it's really super intense. The dip brow is not going to be something that if you want a nice natural brow, it's going to be something that you want to go for. So if you're looking for that nice intense brow, that's kind of be what you want to do. So now that everything is pretty much done and set, we're going to go on to our eyes. So just starting off, we are going to be using the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette. It is just the small one, and we're going to be using this color right here. It is called Stark as our all over base color. I'm using a Morphe E13. We're just going to be using that to pack on this color. I got a bunch of Morphe brushes recently, as you may be able to tell, and I'm loving them. I love the price point. I love the fact that they're honestly really high quality for the price. You know, they should be a little bit more expensive, but they're not, and I think that's awesome. I'm about them. So I'm definitely going to be buying a little bit more Morphe in my future. We're really going to be focusing on the outer V today. Then we're actually going to be going from darker to lighter to make that outer V a little bit smoky, and we're going to be using this color called Primal, the second to last on the right, and we're just going to be focusing that on the outer V, really to make that more smoky and beautiful. And we're going to be going over that in lighter colors to really soften that up. So starting at the lower lash line, really placing that tight on there and smoking that up and outward. Okay, so now that that is on there, it's really just making sort of your eyes a little bit more cat-like. We didn't bring it too much into the crease, but really just on that outer edge. Midway from the lash line outwards, just smoking that out and making it a little bit bigger as we go along, just to give it a nice pretty cat eye effect. So now going in with a different brush, this is a Morphe M507 brush. Again, it's just a little bit tapered, small sort of blending brush. We're going to be using this color called Frisk right here and really blending that out. And to be even more precise, you definitely could have used tape with this look. I decided just kind of go for it, so we'll see how this goes. So once you're done kind of placing color, I'm using this brush, which is the Sigma E25. It's a blending brush, and I'm really just making sure that is nice and blended out. And any of the color, I'm making sure I'm not going down, but I'm actually bringing that back up to give that upper eye a little bit more color. And I forgot to mention there was absolutely no extra product on this brush, it's just dirty. Okay, so now that all of the eyeshadow is placed on there and everything is nice and smoky, it's a really nice subtle smoky effect. I didn't do too much with it. I didn't want to do too much with it. You can absolutely do anything you want with this look. I just decided to keep it simple. Once you're done with this, you can put a nice glittery shadow into the center / inner corner and really just amplify this up, but I wanted to keep it nice and natural and really date time appropriate. Things that a guy really would go for, especially on a nice Valentine's Day date, to make it nice and pretty and appropriate. So I'm just doing a nice simple on the eye and going for a little bit prettier and softer just all over makeup look. So this is the eyes. I'm also going to finish it off, and I'm going to put a little bit of liner just to amplify that cat eye on the upper lid. So using my trusty Kat Von D tattoo liner, I'm really just going again from the center of my eye to the outer, making a little bit of a wing, but I'm not bringing that into the inner quarter to really make this nice and soft. And that is one eye completely finished. Okay, so after your eyeliner is done, your eye look is essentially complete, then I'm just going to be using 2 mascaras today to achieve the lashes that I want. The first is going to be the Benefit They're Real mascara. We all know I have a loving relationship with this. This is my favorite thing in the world. And this is really just going to give you volume and also length. Length mainly is what I use this to get. And then the next one that I'm going to use is the Marc Jacobs. I forget what this is called. I think it's the Velvet mascara, but I'm just going to be using these 2 in combination. This is really volumizing, and this one is really for length. So I'm using these 2 together. Okay, so next we are just going to pop on some blush, and the blush I'm using today is NARS Orgasm. Yes, I put all of my blushes in this Z palette. Okay, so we're just going to work that on the apples of our cheeks and bring that back just a little bit. And the thing that I actually really like about this blush is it has some gold reflex in it, so it's really going to make your skin look all nice and dewy and glowy instead of just a straight color on your face. It's going to give a little bit more amplification for that dewy glowiness and kind of naturalness that we're going for. The last thing that we're going to be doing is highlighting, and we're literally just going to throw this highlighter actually everywhere. I'll show you exactly where, but we're just going to be using the Hourglass Luminous Light highlighter. It's this beautiful peachy, just natural glow from within highlighter that I absolutely adore. And using this Sigma Spotlight Duster F37 brush, we are going to be strobing today, which is something that's different, and I said I didn't like to do, but I've actually changed my mind and changed my ways. So, and this brush has actually changed my mind on this. So we're just gonna be loading up the brush with that. Literally, you can put on as much as possible. Strobing in general is just intense highlight, just right across your cheeks, from your cheek up to your cheekbone. It's a lot of highlight, so we really don't care how much highlight we get on this brush because this is so natural that it won't really show up too intense. So we're just gonna be placing this here, sort of at your cheekbones, but the brush is so big that it's gonna go onto your cheeks, and we're just gonna be placing that backwards. So just in any sort of messy fashion, getting some more, going on the other side, down the bridge of our nose. You can also just do the tip of the nose if you'd like to, just give yourself like that little button nose. Do it again. Again, like the more highlight, the better, I feel like. And of course, Cupid's bow. And now actually we're going to be using this and putting this at the tops of our brow bone just to really highlight that area. Put this right underneath. I put a lot of concealer here just to clean it up, clean up that arch. So putting that right over that lighter concealer color. We're also going to be highlighting the inner corner to brighten that up as well, and I'm just using this tiny little pencil brush, dipping a little bit in there. Getting that into the inner corner. I really like that this highlight is so subtle because I didn't want a super intense inner corner. I wanted something a little bit more natural, which I'm getting with this highlight. But again, you do you. If you want to go more intense, you can do that. If you want to go more natural, you can. I probably did the most natural possible, so do what you want to do, but this is the way that I really wanted to wear this makeup look, and I'm really loving how this is turning out. So very last thing, obviously, we are going to talk about lips. Now, with this makeup look, you can literally do any type of lip that you want to do, but since this is Valentine's Day, we're going to keep this nice and light and fresh and pretty, and just Valentine's Day date appropriate. So first things first, obviously, we have to moisturize our lips, and I'm just using some chapstick. You do not want to get caught with chapped lips if your date is trying to kiss you at the end of the night. Ja feel, ja feel. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys a couple different options that you can do. First things first, the most natural that you can possibly get, which I feel like it's still beautiful and pretty, the YSL lip oils. Now, these are just like a very super intense lip gloss. As you can tell, it's just very glossy. It's got this tint to it. It's not going to show up this color. It's just going to be a nice gloss that eventually, once the gloss goes away a little bit, it's going to leave a nice little pink sheen. And I absolutely love this one. YSL in general smells really fruity and beautiful. So if your man wants to kiss you, it's going to smell really nice on your lips. And this is in I Rose You, I believe is what the name of this one is called. It's just their lip oils. You could also go for something a little bit more intense. Now, the two intense lippies that I have, the first one is obviously Ruby Woo. This is like just amazing, the best red that MAC has. And then also I have this MAC, it's called Divine Divine. It's their retro matte liquid lipstick that they just came out with, I believe. And it's just this really pretty pink color. I really enjoy the wand of this and how it applies to your lips. I really like these lip glosses in general. So these are two of the more really intense colors, very bold lips that you can do. But again, I'm gonna go for something a little bit in between. So this was the crazy intense one. And then this one was obviously the more natural. So you can go for either. I am going to go for the middle version, which is a Marc Jacobs lipstick in the color Georgie Girl. So I just discovered Marc Jacobs lip products in general. I have a couple of their lip glosses. Wonderful. I got this lipstick. Oh my god, wonderful. The pigmentation and just the ease of it putting on your lips is just amazing. I absolutely love it. And this color is this beautiful just baby pink color. I am a very big baby pink fan, so this is just beautiful to me and I absolutely love it. So we're just gonna use this today. I'm not gonna use any lip line or anything like that. You can if you want to, again, but I'm just gonna kind of throw this on, and it's really close to my lip color, just a little bit darker, a little bit pinker. So I think this is a nice natural way to do lips for Valentine's Day. And that is Georgia Girl. So again, this is a nice, pretty, I didn't overline my lips or anything like that. It's not intense in the least. It's a nice, beautiful, very velvety on your lips. It's very smooth, very wearable. It feels very lightweight. I can hardly feel like I have lipstick on, but it's just a very beautiful color and I love it for this makeup look and Valentine's Day in general. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in and I'm gonna show you guys the finished look. And that does it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this nice, beautiful, natural Valentine's Day makeup. I think this makeup is obviously wearable any time of the year. You can switch up the lip and do absolutely anything with it. You can do a bold color in the winter time or any time of the year. Who am I to stop you from wearing like a bold black lip during the summer? But you can absolutely do that with this look. That's what I really love about it, and I love how wearable and natural that it is. And you can really amplify it and make it and do whatever with it, no matter what you want. You can do a little bit of more sparkle on the lid. You can do less intense brow. You can do a more intense brow. You can do anything with your contour, make it super intense and beautiful and just rock that lip, overdraw if you want to, anything really. So I absolutely love how this turned out. I hope you guys do as well. And I hope you guys have a great Valentine's Day. Let me know who you're spending it with. I am spending it with my team that I coach. So turn up for love this Valentine's Day. We are going to be at a tournament in DC. So I'm really excited about that. I'm excited to spend it with them. I don't have a Valentine myself, so they're all going to be my Valentines this year and I'm really excited. So that does it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next one. Bye.